So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Sunny, your host, and in this session we are going to explore that how we can integrate ChatGPT with Telegram bot so that we can give it some sort of intelligence. So that is why we are going to build this in this particular demo, and we will first of all try to build an eco bot, and then we will try to modify that with the help of ChatGPT. And yeah, I hope you are excited, right? Because this could be very useful in like. Now let me tell you where it could be useful. Let's say if you have a potential client and you don't have time to create front end, so you can definitely use it as a demo, and it can be demoed to someone in their phone. So just imagine that, okay, how good it can be. So immediately you don't have to engage your front end team. Okay, if you are a data scientist, if you are explorer, if you are a back end engineer, and you want to test your application, so you can definitely test it in this way, right? You can definitely create your bot just or fine tune this ChatGPT API for your use case and simply deploy it by using this Telegram, right? And you can quickly demo it to the client. So let's get started. And also, if you like this video, so definitely give it a thumbs up and share it, subscribe it. Thank you, and see you. Okay, so let's get started with the tutorial. So first we will do the basic setup of the project. Okay, so I will do that quickly. So I will go to the new repository here, and we will choose a basic template. Again, here the link for the same will be present in the description of this video. And here let's create a repository by name, let's say ChatGPT and Telegram bot. Okay, so this is the title of the repository, and same thing we can put it in the description. Otherwise it's optional, you can leave it if you wish. And now let's create the repository. So this will create a basic repository that we need to build our chatbot, and it will have all those like basic files. I think requirements.txt, then setup script is there, shell script which you can run to install all the requirements and initialize the Conda environment with the Python 3.8 version, and then it will have README. So this we can update accordingly, and then it also has a git ignore file which we normally use it in almost any project, which like if you want to ignore certain things like let's say secret keys and all those things, so you can put the path of those files or folders into this git ignore, and it will be ignored by the version control. So in that way you will not be committing your secret keys on a public repository or anywhere in the repository. Okay, it should not be a part of it, so we can put it there, right? So now again what we can do is either we can clone it locally or we can simply do the everything in the code spaces, because for this project we can go for a code spaces, so it gives us a same environment that we are looking for. And so let's open this code spaces. It takes some time to set up, and it will be ready in a moment. So it's ready now. So before we jump into anything, so what we can do is we can simply, so it's ready now. So we can simply, first of all, we can initialize the conda because it's not pre-initialized. So I will write conda in it, and now it is reinitialized, and it says that, oh, you have to reopen the current shell. So we have to press this trash can button, and so that it can close it. And we can restart the new terminal. So you should see base here, right? So that means it's now initialized, and this readme is already open, so it has nothing. So we can change the name to our like repository name, and we will update this readme accordingly later on. And in the requirements.txt, we have all the basic requirement that is needed, and we can add two more requirements here, that is aiogram, that is asynchronous input output telegram. Okay, that is for telegram. And then we need openai especially, just to, so that we can give it we can use the ChatGPT API, right? So that is why we are adding these two libraries which we are going to utilize. That's it. We can save it, and we can now update it. So let's update that. Let's say update readme, and so I will add stage that changes, and then I will commit that. And after that we will say that updated requirement, and then we can commit this. So now we can say that when we directly commit this without staging it, it will ask for the first time again. So that would you like to stage all your changes, always commit them directly. So you can say yes, always, and that's it. And you can sync them. And once you sync it for the first time, it will ask that, okay, we'll pull and push the commits from the origin and main. That is good. Like let's say if there is any changes which is done by maybe some of the other contributors, so it should be pulled before you push the changes. Okay, so it says that, okay, don't show again. I can click on that and it will sync the changes. So, and now again, there will be one more pop-up, that is, we should periodically run git fetch, so that all the like code which is there in the remote repository can be fetched on a regular basis. So I will say that yes. Now, so we are ready with the basics. Now, what we can do is we can create a file inside a repository. Let's call it as a source repository, src. In that, we will call the first file, that is ecobot. Okay, what is ecobot? So it will just, because we are going to deal with the Telegram, right? Telegram bot API. So we will create first of all ecobot, and then we will also create one more file here, that is chatgpt.py, which in which we will be, that will nothing be, it's going to be an extension of ecobot, where we will be using the ChatGPT API as well, so that we can give the a kind of AI brain to our chatbot, right? So these are the two basic files that is required. And apart from that, we will also need one more file, that is, it should be in the root of the folder, and that will be called as env.n file. And it will be containing our token, that is a token for the Telegram bot, as well as the that is OpenAI API token. Okay, so these two tokens are required. So for this tutorial, I also have created a Medium blog as well, where I have written the similar steps. Okay, it's the same way, like whatever we are going to follow here, it's the same thing which is being followed here also. So if you would like to read it out, so also you can read that. So you can see that, yeah, so every detail is mentioned here, right? You can check this out. So since we have already all the basic setup is already here, okay, so now let's create or install the requirements that we have, right? So we can simply run this bash init setup.sh. Now what this file contains is actually nothing but these are the main components. Like, it will create the environment by Python 3.8 version, and it will activate that environment, and it will install the requirements. That's it. Rest of the things are nothing but these are the print statements kind of thing, which is just giving you information that, okay, where we are while running these setup. Okay, so let's run this, and you can see it started. And let me also make it slightly zoom in so that you guys can see clearly. So you can see that it is started extracting and installing packages. It will be installing package into this N folder, and by the time you will start doing it, you will also get a pop-up here that we notice that you have a new environment has been created. So do you want to select it for the workspace? So you can always give it a yes, so that whenever you will open now Python files here, so that environment will be automatically selected, and you will not get any, you know, pop up or any highlights that, okay, certain libraries are not installed. Okay, so you will not get something like that. So till then, this is getting started. So let's do one thing, that let's open our Telegram app, because we will need that token, okay, for our project. So let's go to my phone, right? Okay, so here I am on my Telegram app. So what I have to do is, first thing that I will do is search for bot father. Okay, and you should see there is like a bot father with a blue tick. Okay, that is the original one. So you should select that, and you will get some information here. So you can simply click on start or restart, whichever is the bottom. So it will give you certain commands, right? So since you want to create this bot for the first time, so you will be creating for the like you will select a first command, that is new bot. So either like you can type it here, that same command, or you can click on that new bot and it will automatically type it for you, and it will say that, all right, a new bot, and how are you going to call it? So you should give us a name. So let's call it as a chat GPT. I can give it a name, so because it will be very common, so I will give it some number here, some random number, and yeah, so this is, I think that should be more than enough. So let's do this. I hope. Yeah. So it will ask you now that you have to choose a username, and it should end with bot or underscore bot. So what I will do is I will simply do the same chat GPT, and I will say 117 underscore bot. So this will be my bot username. Okay. So once I click it, so it will show me that these are the bunch of information. So I can directly go to my new bot by, you will find it here. So it says, so you can click on that link, it will go to that bot, or you can even search by that username as well, right? And at the bottom, you can see here, it says use this token to access. So it says your HTTP API token is this. So make sure that you have this token secure, right? Now let me click on the link of the bot, right? So if I click on this, you should see something like this, a start button at the bottom. Right now, it will not respond to you, or it will, because there is no backend. Okay. So let's build that backend, right? And then we can come back to this one. So just now we got the token for our bot. So what we will do is now we will paste that information into this .n file, because from here only it will be read. And since you can also see that it is also up, get ignored. Okay. So it will not be committed to the your public repository. So I will paste the token, and now we have to get the Open API key. So to get the Open API key, you can simply go to your platform.openai.com, and once you enter it, you have to sign in or sign up. And on the extreme right corner, you can see personal. So from there, you can go to view your API keys. So in this API key, you can click on this create new API key, and it will create the API key for you. So I'm not going to create it because I already have it here by the name Telegram app. So I will be using the same API key. Okay, so let me paste that API key for you here so that we can go ahead with the tutorial. Yeah, so this is done. I will close this file, and now we are ready to go for our first app, that is EcoBot script. So now before that, we can also activate the environment also. So for that, I will simply say code activate /n. So you can see now it is got activated. Okay, so let me close this and let's go back to our EcoBot. So to get the EcoBot, like we are not going to code this entirely, right? So we can get it by like going to the aiogram documentation. So where you will find out in the quick start of this, this is the documentation. So here you will see the basic explanation of that. So let me scroll down to the bottom. You will see there is a summary, right? And we can copy this entirely, and we will paste it here, and we will try to understand line by line. So let me do that. Okay, so here you go. So I have just pasted the same code here. So let me understand, let me make you understand this one by one. So this is not nothing but it's like basic information about this particular module. This is called as module docstring. Then we are importing logging, and we are importing from aiogram. We are importing bot class, dispatcher class, executor method, and types. So, and here you need to pass on the API token. Next thing is that we are using logging to have a basic configuration of information, so that it will give you the basic information about the logs that is being generated in this code. And then we will initialize the bot by passing the token that we have got here to the bot class, and we are creating an object of it. And then we are having this dispatcher class where it will be passing this bot, right? And it will go into this DP object. And now we have two methods here, which is one of them is echo and other one is send welcome. So, and also they have their own docstring. This gives you a basic understanding of it. And let's go with the first of all, that is about the send welcome method, which is having a decorator here that is at the rate dp and dot message handler. So if the bot sends a command, says, let's say start or help. So you may have seen just before this when we were using bot father, so it has some bunch of commands. So in the same way, if you give it a command of start or help, so in either of the case, this method will be invoked. Okay, and here that message will be passed as it is here, like, so let's say this message, okay, slash start, and so, and the type of that particular message will be types dot message. Okay, so that is what it is defined here or annotated here. And then this will be passed here, and let's say this command comes in, so you should, in that case, you should reply it by this particular string. Okay, hi, I am EcoBot powered by aiogram. And then we have the message handler. That is another case. That means here we do not pass any specific command or any filters. So whatever you type in, so it will simply go into this message, and it will simply reply you that message by message.text. So since it's an echo bot, so it will simply echo whatever you are saying, right? And at the end, this is the entry point for you. And here we are using executor method, and we will start polling. That means we will be start like it will be in a kind of loop, right? And here it says that skip updates is equals to true. So this argument is important here. So if I make it false, or actually it's by default it's false only. So what it says that, let's say if your bot is offline, or if it is not running, okay, so in that case, if you keep it as updates as true, skip updates as true, so that means that, so while your bot is offline and you keep on sending it a message, so it will not give you a response, okay. And if this is true, so what will happen, it will ignore all those updates or all those messages that you pinged, and it will start fresh. So that is the meaning of here skip updates equals to true. But if you make it false, so what it will do is it will consider all those input that you are sending, and so we will see this as a practical. Okay, so I hope you have got the basic clear. So this method will be invoked when you will pass on these commands start or help, and this will be a general invocation. So in that way, so let's say, so bot father is also kind of doing similar stuff only. So it has some bunch of commands, already predefined commands. So if you send them, and so it invokes certain method of it, okay, certain function of that program. So in the same way, we are doing this here as well. Okay, so in order to make this work, we have to pass on the token here. So what we will do is we already have a .env file, right? So we will import few more libraries. I will say that, or you can simply paste it for the trial. He can paste it here also, but I will do, I will give you a good alternative, which we will be using in the next script as well. So I will say that from .env import load.env, and we will just invoke this function. And because of that, what will happen, it will our all the keys and values which are present into .env, so that key will become as a, it will be available for you as a environment variable. Okay, and you can simply call, or you can just get that environment variable here, that is get env, and you can pass that API token value. So I will simply say token because we have given the name token there. And so in this way, this will be available directly to you. So that's what the use of .env. And I also have a tutorial if you want to explore that. So you can definitely go and check it out. Okay, so I think this completes our basic setup. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's run this code. Okay, so let's bring our terminal, and let's run this code. So Python source, and then it's an ecobot.py. So let's run this. So if there is no issue, so you can see that it is giving you some, like this is coming from the log. Okay, so logging, if you use, so it will automatically come up. And here you can see that it's giving us a warning that updates were skipped successfully. That means if you have passed any messages before, so it will be skipped. And it says that start polling. That means we are running. Okay, so now let's go to our Telegram bot. Okay, so let me bring that on the screen. Okay, so I hope you can see on the left hand side, you will see my screen for the Telegram is open. So let me click on the start first of all. So you will see that when I press the start, it is printing out the same message. I am EcoBot powered by aiogram. So you can see that this is the same message, right? And now let's say if I write /help. Okay, so let's see that. So it will act as a command. It will again print the same message because it is going into this. Okay, and now if I write anything else here, so let's say if I say hi there, so it says again it's echoing the same thing. So that's what EcoBot does. Now what we have to do is, instead of echoing, we can plug in ChatGPT here so that it can give us a response that we are looking for. So let's build that out. I hope this is the basic tutorial, is you are able to understand this basic tutorial, right? And so let's proceed with the next phase. Until then we can commit this, right? So let's commit this. So ecobot is able to, we are able to create that. So I will say that ecobot created. I will close it. And we also have settings.json here, which is coming from .vs code. So it should not be there because it's a simple setting you have for your VS code. So what you can do is you can go to git ignore, and you can simply say at the end, you can mention that .vs code /star. That means ignore everything into this .vs code. So it will be ignored by git ignore. So let me also update that. Okay, so that's it for the basic EcoBot demo. So now let's get started with the ChatGPT scripting. So here I have a boilerplate ready, so let me paste that boilerplate. Boilerplate is nothing but it's just a kind of skeleton for your script, okay, where you need to fill in the details wherever it is required, so that it will make us like our job easy and this tutorial slightly uh, less time consuming. So let me explain this code line by line. First of all, this boilerplate quickly. So this contains module docstring. Okay, it's kind of like a standard way. Like let's say if you want to maybe if you're writing a standard Python library, so it's a good practice to mention these docstring. It's very helpful. Okay, and so let me explain it one by one. So first one is nothing but it's the name of the module or the file here, and then the explanation of that what this module does and what it contains. So that is what the description here given and the uses of it. Okay, and then after that a note if you want to provide. So it's the note says here that you need aiogram library and openai library to interact with the telegram api and the openai api respectively. So these two libraries are required to make this module work. And example wise, that means if you want to run this code, so you can run. So the command is also given and the author name, right? So these are the basic way, like you can say standard approach to follow, and you can do that too in your code base. Next after that what I did is I have like imported the like requirement, like all the libraries I think. So we have seen these three before, and like I'm importing openai here. And now after that I have created a class called as reference, and I have also explained its documentation that okay what it does. So it's nothing but it's a class to store the previous response of the ChatGPT API. And after that I will load the environment, and I need to like set up the open api key. Then I will also create a reference object for this particular reference class, and then I will get the token environment, initialize the model chat gpt, as well as initialize the dispatcher that we have seen in the previous example. And then I have a function called as clear past. Okay, the job of this one is to clear the conversation and context if you are starting it again. Okay, so that is the main use of it. Then we have these three message handler. Okay, actually four message handler that I have created in this case. So you can see last time we have seen the start and help was at the same case, but right now we are not putting it in the same, and we are separating it. Okay, so start will be our command, clear will be our command, and help is also going to be our command. And all the generic stuff will go into this chat gpt method or function here. So let me go start with the first one, that is welcome. So welcome says that again it's very self-explanatory. So whenever you will start the conversation, so it will start and it will also clear the past whenever you will be starting for the first time. Okay, and then we will have the message handler clear. That means let's say if you are in between chat and you want to clear the past history and you want to start it again, so you can use this. And then we have the same way we have the help. So help, let's say if you don't want, if you don't know that okay what are the commands that is we have, so we can always run this. Okay, and then we have this chat gpt where we will be handling we will be putting our chat gpt api to handle our input response and give the some more better responses by processing it through chat gpt api. And at the end again, so it's going to start polling the dispatcher. I am not providing the, you can see if you just quickly check the last example. So we had a skip updates here, right? So let's go back again. So we can also mention it here, but let's keep it as true for now, and we will make it false, and we will see that, okay, what kind of response we get. Okay. So yeah. So these are the basic skeleton that I have explained just now. So we have three message handler that is going to handle commands and one for the chat gpt. So let's get started from the top again. Let's start implementing one by one. So first thing first, that is about reference. So again you can notice one more thing here. So let me tell you that okay, ray is not implemented error. That means what it says, whenever it's good idea to instead of just writing here pass, okay, it's a good idea to write this ray is not implemented error, because in that way you will be able to know that okay which part of the code is not implemented yet. Okay, so that's a good practice. Again, just a tip. So let's remove this, or let me save commit this also. Okay, so that you can understand okay what changes I have made in this boilerplate. Okay, so let's write here. So it's going to be a very simple function where we have an initial will init, and it will not return anything, obviously, in this case. And we will have only one attribute, that is a response, and it is going to be an empty string. That's it. Okay. And we will see that, okay, why we are using it. Next, we are going to load the environment that we have already done it here. And now let's set up the Open API key. To set up the Open API key, you need to write openai.api key and you need to get the environment. Okay, so we will pass that OpenAI key into this. So in that way, uh, the API key will be supplied to OpenAI. And then after that, we will again create a response for the reference. So we will say reference equal to reference class. Okay, we will initialize that. That is a reference object we have initialized. Then we have a token for our that is this Telegram bot, and then we have uh, like what is the model which is going to be used in ChatGPT. So we can define that. So here it's nothing but it's GPT 3.5 Turbo. That is the name of the model that ChatGPT uses. And then we have initialized the batch that is bot and dispatcher. So that is absolutely fine. Then let's go to the clear pass. So in clear pass, what we are going to do is we will simply use the reference dot response, that is reference object, and dot response attribute, and we will again make it an empty string. That's what clear past means. Okay, that means past you can say the past response by the ChatGPT. So that we are clearing it. And one more thing that you should know, that okay, why we are even keeping it, why we are keeping it, because so that our the ChatGPT will know that okay, what is the past response, and it can use it to like give you the next response. Otherwise, what will happen, that it will lose the memory and it will not be able to understand okay, what was your past question. So that is why we have actually implemented the use of reference, right? And when we clear that, that means we want to start fresh. So that is what here clear means. Okay. And now let's start with the first part. That's your welcome message handler. So here in this welcome message handler, we can first of all, we can clear the past. Okay. And we can get rid of this raise response, and we can say that await message dot reply, and we can pass our own message. This is recommended by the tab 9. It's very good actually. So we can say that hello, I am Chat GPT Telegram bot created by Sunny. Okay, so this is my message to the user who is coming for the first time. And we can use also a new line here so that it can have a two line. It will spread in two line. It will look better. And you can even pass on some more messages like how may I assist you today. So we can say that how may I assist you today. Okay, so it's becoming slightly larger. So you can even use some backward slash and you can put it in the second line. Okay, so this is your welcome method got or function got completed. Now we can have the uh, clear. So here we don't have to do anything. We can simply, first of all, write this, and we can also send the user a message that I have cleared the past conversation and context. Okay, so that is what I think this will do our job. Then we have the help. Okay, so in help method, we should pass some information to the user the way we have seen in the bot father. So we can say that help command, and we can use a triple quote here, and we can mention that okay, what we are. So I have it ready, so let me quickly paste it for you. So you can see that I will going to say that hey, there I am ChatGPT bot created by Sunny, and please follow these commands. And so start the conversation, to clear the past conversation and context, and to get this help menu. So you can always use help, and I hope this helps. So this is a very small simple message, and what I will do is I will now pass this message by reply and help command, message dot reply, then help command. So this completes our helper function, and now the main function that we are going to work on, and that is ChatGPT. So here, let's create a variable or object for ChatGPT, and let's call OpenAI dot chat completion class and dot create method. And in this one, we will pass the model name. Model is equals to model name. Then we are going to have a messages. Okay, messages is equals, it's going to be a kind of list. And here you will pass on the two dictionaries here. Okay, one will be having a role of the assistant. Okay, and the content that it has. Okay, so content is equals to content is going to be reference. Okay, reference dot response. So it's the same thing that is here we have defined, right? Response. So whenever it will be initialized for the first time, so it will have an empty string, so it will do nothing for you. Okay. Now in the same way, we will have the role of the user, that is us. So this information will come from where? It will come from this message dot text. Okay. So this will be, so let me put some comment here, that is, this is called as our question. Okay, our query. And here we will be having, that is, role of an assistant, or you can say past reference point. Okay, so that will be passed into this past context kind of thing. So now before we end this, so we can also do one thing. So since now what will happen, so this will give us a response, right? This outcome will give us a response based on this context and this message that we have. So now we should save this response to the reference, right? So I will say reference dot response. This will be equals to response and choices. And here it doesn't use text, actually it uses message, and then inside that we should have content. So you can check this for the documentation. This is how the response comes in. So I will pass the text in response to this, and actually I am saving this as a in response. Okay, reference response, and that's it. And now we will simply use await. Now here you can see, since it's a response from the bot, right? So we will say that bot send message, and here you have to first of all send the chat ID, that is correct. So we will say that chat underscore ID is equals to message dot chat dot ID, and the text that we are going to pass on is reference dot response. So this will be the outcome of it, right? So this completes everything. Now, just for our reference, we can either we can print some response here, that let's say this is from the user. So what user has asked, so user will asking that it will have message dot text, that is the input from the user. And similarly we can have, after the response we have got, so you can also have one more print statement, that is the bot response or ChatGPT response. This is for us, like this is for the terminal. Okay, and this will be simply equals to reference dot response. Okay, so this completes our code. Now let's try this. Okay, I think we have completed everything, so I hope there should be no error, but errors are friend. Okay, if it is there, even if it is there, so it's totally fine. Now let's get started with the demo part. Okay, so it's time for the truth. So let's open the terminal and let's start with the Python chatgpt.py. I hope there should be no issue. So if it starts without any warning, so that's completely fine. So you can see that on the left hand side we have this already open. Okay, so now see, either you can start fresh by clearing this, okay, or what you can do is you can go for first of all, let's try to see if we are getting the help. Okay, let's run this. So yes, that means it works. So you can see that it is showing that if you start the conversation, you can click start and then clear to clear the post and so on. So if I click on start, you can see that it will say, hello, I am ChatGPT Telegram bot created by Sunny. How may I assist you? Okay, so that is absolutely fine. Now let's say, hi there. Please introduce yourself. Let's see that, okay, how it responds. We are asking it from ChatGPT. So you can see that this is my question, and you can see on the terminal as well it is received, and yeah, it has also ChatGPT responded. So on the both the side you can say that you are getting the response. Hi, I am AI language model and designed to generate human like responses. So let me ask it that okay, tell me about transformers. Let's see what it gives you. So it may take some time because so see, on the, it's a very large text, so it's a popular franchise of toys, cartoons, and comics and movies. So it's gave us the right response. The concept revolves around the sentient robots and planet Cybertron. So that is absolutely correct. And at the end, you can see it's interesting. Recently, advances in machine learning have led to a new type of transformer model in natural language processing, which is revolutionized field of AI language, which is certainly it's there. So let's say uh, if I ask that, okay, tell me more about transformers of NLP. So let's see what it gives you. So again, it's going to take some time, right? So so you can see it gave you a response that, yep, is a type of neural network architecture that was introduced in 2017. It was fun. Your attention is all you need. That is the paper name. So it's absolutely correct. I think you can check it out. Okay, and the same. It's a very large amount of text is got printed. Now let me ask it that can you give a simple program or simple Python program example where I get to download an image from a given URL, which is nothing but, let's say, some example.com, by using requests library. Okay, so let me ask this question and see the answer. Okay, so here it is. You can see that it is import request, some image URL, and then request.get. It's it's absolutely correct, right? But since it is not getting formatted here, but still it is good response, right? Now, if I ask that, okay, can you replace that, replace requests library with URL lib. So let's see what we get. Okay, so you can see that it is taking and it is says that dot request dot URL retrieve, and you're passing the URL and saving that image.png, image.jpg, right? So it absolutely works fine. Now let me clear this context. Okay, let's clear this context so we can just simply clear it. Now, now you can see that if I ask it that uh, can you replace URL lib library with any other library in the past example. Okay, if I ask this and after clearing the conversation, so it will be difficult. Let's see. So it may also give you some like unwanted response also. It may assume that, okay, there was a past example, but it is not there. So you can see that, but you can see that it is printing the response dot content instead of saving that particular image file, right? So it has changed, but it has, again, it is somewhat near, but you can see that there is a difference, right? So that is why we have used the reference so that it can keep on saving the past response at least, right? Past one response. So that means this works, right? Now, let's again clear this. And let's say if you even delete this, also delete this block, or maybe if you clear the response also, clear history. So you will again get like this start. Okay. So if you click on that, so it will again give you the same thing that I am ChatGPT Telegram bot created by Sunny. And how may I assist you today? So the same thing. So now let me again stop this bot here, and let me show you that okay what happens if I play with this skip updates. Okay. So let me put it as, let's say if I say false, and if I say my chat bar that okay, I want to know about machine learning, this is first message that I send, and it will not give you any response because the bot is not yet active, right? And again if I say that, and also I want to know about deep learning. So I have passed these two messages, but I didn't get any response because uh, the bot is not active yet, right? It's not running here. So let me run this again. So you can see that it already got, I want to know about machine learning. That is the first thing. Now let's see that. See, so it gave you response, and it is also considering I also want to know about deep learning. Okay, these two, but it is yet to send a response. Now let's see, okay, how what happens here. See, you will get both the responses. The first response is about machine learning, and the second one is about overview of deep learning. So we got both the response. Why it is happening? Because we have said that skip updates equals to false. So what will happen? It will keep the things that you have already sent in a memory, and it will send you. And how it is able to handle all these requests because of this async and await. So that's why it is a very key concept here. I have explained it with another example in another video, so you can you can check that out as well. Now, if I make it true, okay, and I will again close this. Let's Control C, and uh, before running it, let me uh, first of all clear this also, or maybe what I can do is let me ask something else. Let's say I want to know about computer vision, and also explain, let's say NLP. So if I ask this, so since it's now skip update is false, right? So if I run this now, so it says updates were skipped successfully, and it did not even receive anything yet, right? And now if I ask you, if I say that I asked you something, so you can see that now this message is coming up. Okay, and it will say that I do not have able to remember previous interactions. Okay, so that's a good part of, right? That's a good part of this library, that it is able to save the previous responses, even the chatbot is offline. So that's what the use of this skip updates. So you can play with that if you want to keep this property, so you can keep it. Now the thing is that okay, how you can make this bot running? So you can host it on any of like cloud services, that is up to you, but that will make this tutorial more longer if I continue with that. So I hope you have got the generic idea that okay, how we can create such bots, and it's so much interesting, right? It can be really helpful in many of your products. And why I use Telegram is because it was easy to use. It has its own interface. It gives you so much of liberty. So that's why I use ChatGPT. This Telegram bot, and so you can create your own interface if you want, right? But yeah, this is also one of the approaches. Okay, that will take more time, but I wanted to see this, okay, how it integrates with Telegram. So that is why I experimented with it. But there are more options available. You can try with WhatsApp or any other uh, like such services, or yeah, and try to integrate that, right? So that's it, guys. That's it for the demo. I hope you have learned something today, and see you in the next tutorial. Till then, keep on learning and keep on exploring.